Kryptus here. This short video is to help shed some light on stat priorities and what to aim for when it comes to the gear to accommodate your stat stacking. This is something that has been asked upon greatly, and we'll see if this video can help clear up some of the confusion for those of you who are interested in playing a Fury Warrior in PvP. So let's begin with Fury stat priorities. You will have an option to focus on a primary and a secondary stat followed by the rest. These can be anything of your choosing. Notice below I've listed a primary stat of crit, and a secondary stat can be one of the other 4 remaining stats. Again, these can be mixed and matched. If you want to make one of the other stats your primary stat rather than crit, go ahead and do so. That would mean if you want mastery as a primary followed by crit and so on. Just remember that this will depend on your playstyle of how you approach the game. If you are interested in playing with a lot of crit or a lot of mastery, then you aim for those stats as primary stats, which will be what you focus most of your attention on when it comes to selecting gear. Some prefer to have mastery as a primary, or even the new stats of versatility or multi-strike. You'll soon find out what works for you and your playstyle. So let's take a look at what I've decided to go with. My primary stat is crit, followed by mastery. Let's say I would recommend this option for those of you who are starting out, just to kind of get a feel for Fury. I will be experimenting with different stats as I test out different spec builds, but my main reason behind crit as a primary was because of our passive ability in Fury called Cruelty, which does provide a 5% bonus to critical strike stats from all sources. Then mastery, as it does increase our in-range damage, so I would like to stack both of them at the same time or as much as possible for one, especially my primary stat. So as you can see, I aim for gear that mostly has the 2 stats I seek. For example, the ring, this one has both crit and mastery as primary and secondary stats. Without the option to reforge, you'll notice that the game decided to introduce not just one single piece of gear, but multiple pieces of gear, each with a different combination of stats. Here are 3 examples. Now, once you've determined your stat priority, meaning your primary and secondary stats, you'll want to aim for equipment that will back up your decision. Hopefully you can obtain the equipment that is directed to your playstyle and stat priority, being that if you decide to change your stat priority later down the road, you will have to purchase additional equipment. But now here comes a common question and problem. What if you can't find the gear that suits your primary and secondary stat choices? Well, it looks like you'll have to improvise. There are a multitude of enchants in the game now to help with such a dilemma. For example, here is a piece of gear that I obtained. I couldn't find the suitable need of crit and mastery, so instead I looked for one that has the secondary stat I wanted and enchanted it with my primary stat, since the enchanted stat does provide far more than any of the other base crit stats on the other gear. So I managed to get both my primary and secondary stats, and it is possible that you may have to do this with the other gear if you can't find what you're looking for, but there's always options. So as mentioned previously, this was just a quick look into the whole stat and gearing for your Fury Warrior. I will try to continue to make these series of one-on-one videos to help out beginners in regards to PvP and playing a Fury Warrior. So good luck, and if you have any questions, comments, please leave them down below. And as always, thanks for watching.